Breaking news where we understand that the Nigerian police force has arrested human rights lawyer Dele Farotimi following a defamation petition by Tony Elumelu, chairman of UBA Group. Activist Omoyele Shore announced the arrest on X, urging the police to release Farotimi immediately and warning against using the police for personal disputes. Farotimi, a vocal government critic, previously reported police attempts to abduct him after receiving summons in November. The petition against him claims defamation. Now, this incident adds to concerns over Nigerian security forces allegedly targeting journalists and critics. Cases like FIJ's Daniel Ojukwu, detained for 10 days, and Ben Kingsley Wasara's unlawful arrest in Enugu highlight growing fears of arbitrary arrest being weaponized. News Central TV reached out to the AIG Zone 2 in Lagos, Adegoke Fayode, on the arrest, and she said she was unaware of the arrest. Now live joining us on the news is investigative journalist Fisayo Soyombo. Fisayo, good afternoon, and thank you very much for joining us on this bit here. So if you can hear me, I'm wondering what you know about the Dele Farotimi arrest currently.
I was saying that it's not a totally unexpected development. He warned me on Sunday to say that he had intel that he was about to be silenced and that his safety would be compromised. And the news has come out today that he's been picked up. I don't yet have the details if that happened in Lagos or in Abuja, but because he had called earlier to say, he was about to be silenced, I'm inclined to think that this is more than just a defamation move. As a matter of fact, it's nowhere under the law that the police can arrest anyone for defamation. If anyone feels defamed, the right thing to do is approach a court of law and institute a lawsuit. So this keeps in line with what we have come to know of the Bola Tinubu administration: disregard for rights of the people, disregard for press freedom, misuse and abuse of state powers.
Yeah, thanks for touching on the ethical lines there regarding how the police can interact in these kinds of cases. But you said something about him being silenced. He reached out and said that he was going to be silenced. But do you have any information about exactly what he was going to be silenced over?
He didn't tell me. Quite frankly, he was sounding as if he was going to be killed. There was going to be run out of circulation. By the way, Dele Farotimi is not someone who calls all the time or messages all the time. He only reaches out when it is important. I can tell you that this is like the first time in maybe only the second time in 1 year that he has reached out to me. So I do know that his fears were valid, and I can connect the dots and link his fears to what has happened today.
Coming out of one instance yourself, I'm going to ask this again, even if you touched on it earlier. How does the arrest of Dele Farotimi align with the broader pattern of arbitrary arrests that we're seeing of critics and journalists in Nigeria?
It's not even an alignment, it's a continuation. It's a trajectory that I just started, and it's continuing. No matter, you can scream yourself hoarse. This government doesn't care, doesn't listen, isn't interested. Security agencies are now more emboldened. They tell you to your face that they will shoot you and nothing will happen. They keep you in detention and they tell you they are not responsible to anybody. Even the law, those who have been detained will tell you that, the police, the army, they would tell you that we are not answerable to anybody. We are not answerable to the law. Whatever we do here, we get away with it. And that's terrible for a society, a country claiming to be running a democracy. And under the rulership or the presidency of someone who supposedly fought military rule, it's terrible.
Yeah, and I was going to come to you on that one. If you compare this to the past administration, where we had who was once a military officer, military member as president, how would you compare this administration to the former when it comes to relationship with the press and press freedom and journalists?
The staff don't lie. It's not like this is the first government to go after rights defenders, journalists. This is not, it's always been that way. But if you check the staff, in 1.5 years, roughly, of Tinubu's government, and you check with 1.5 years of previous administrations, you will see that the figures are actually higher. The figures are much higher, and it's worrisome.
Okay. Well, I want to say thank you very much for joining us this afternoon to give us your 2 pence on the issue. Thank you very much, Fisayo.